manso y sabroso, y sobre todo por ese ambiente tan popular. Es que Barranquilla siempre está de fiesta, siempre está de rumba. Barranquilla siempre tiene un buen motivo.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do a new way of doing this. I tried to do this on Sunday. And I think I'm going to do this on Sundays. I used to do a Wednesday stream. I used to do a Wednesday stream, but I don't know. Wednesday, I think I'm too busy playing video games. So I never really actually did the stream. So I'm going to try now to do these. On a Sunday. It's going to be Sunday Fun Day. Trying to make sure this actually is working. Yeah, it's working. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about how I made major mistakes in December. And I'm going to tell you how I did it because I just got greedy. You can't get greedy. So when you're doing this kind of stuff, if you don't know, I do options. I sell options. That's pretty much all I do. I might do a swing trade if I see a really good setup, but for the most part, I sell options. And for the most part, I sell puts because I don't really try to own a lot of stock. So I sell puts. So in December, I decided to get the wise idea to up my game and try to push it to make $5,000 a week. Now, when you're doing these options, right, you can only sell safely about 1 to 3% is what you're going to make off an option that you sell. But that's every week. So if you do 1 to 3% every week, what's that? Like 4% to 12% a month, potentially. And a lot of times when you sell an option, you get to close that option sometimes and you can sell it again during the same week. So you might get to do 2 during a week. It depends on how much money you have. Well, you may be doing actually 4 of those in a week, but that's in the weeds. But in any case, okay, if I wanted to make $5,000, right? If I wanted to make $5,000 a month, I would have to have an account that's at least 50,000. Because if you do 1 to 3%, 1% of 50,000 is $500, right? And my account only supports, historically, when I look at it, July was a terrible month. Let's go back. March was 2,600, 1,000, 1,300, 1,500. So you see the average is about, let's just say 2,000 to 2,500. It's kind of what my account supports, right? So for me to kind of push and say I want to make $5,000, I needed $50,000, which is 10%. That would be 10%. So I needed to make that kind of money. So I need to have $50,000 in my account, which I do not have. So let's go over the mistakes that I made. Let's go back to December of 2024, which is this month. And actually another reason, let me look at this too. Let me show you this. Another reason I felt that that's possible is I made mistakes in November too that I could recover from. But let's just talk about December. I did make mistakes in this month and recover from, like right here with NVIDIA, a negative $756. But then I turned around and sold another one for $803. So I was able to recover, and that's the beauty of doing this, is you're able to recover. But in December, I made two mistakes. UPST was the first one. UPST, right before it was getting ready to expire, it took a nosedive and started dropping below $74. So I closed it out. And when I looked at the chart, I closed it out like on a Wednesday or Tuesday actually. And then of course, after I closed it out somewhere up in here, actually got to go back further. I closed it out somewhere up in here, I do believe. Yeah, that's around the second. It nosedived. I closed it out and rushed it, and then by that Friday, the 6th, it was back up to where it started. So I closed it out. It was up in here when I bought it. I closed it out here. And I ate the $689. And yeah, because I opened on December the 2nd and I closed it around the same time, like a 2-day, the 3rd or something like that. And I ate $689. And then it went back up. So I would have had this $689 still in my account. The next big mistake, the big burn, was on MSTR. I don't know why this spreadsheet does that. You can't use the wheel to really get to where you need to get to. But MSTR, right? I made two mistakes on it. And this is where I got greedy at. MSTX, I'm sorry. So I did a $90, I sold a $90 MSTX. Sale to open, $90. Collected $379. And then I turned around and I was looking at it. So I got a $90. And just so you know, $90 is actually times 100. So that's actually $9,000 you got to have on hold in your account. But then I turned around, right? and looked at it and said, you know what? It's 2 days left. This stock has been sitting around $150. It's not going to drop to below $90 or $87, especially with only 2 days left. This one, maybe so. I was willing to take that risk because it had a week left. But this one had 2 days left. And unfortunately, the day that I did this was the same day that Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, spoke and shut everything down. He just killed the market. And I think his comment was something about he wouldn't support the federal government changing the law so that they could hold a Bitcoin reserve, which is what all the Bitcoin and crypto nuts, I call them. I shouldn't call them that. But all those people that support Bitcoin is expecting to happen, and that if the U.S. does it, then of course everybody else will follow along and run Bitcoin up to $200,000 a share. Well, I don't believe that, but I'm willing to play the game. and try to get what I can when I can. So, but I got greedy here. 2 days left. I did this 259, and it tanked. it tanked. It went to well below $87. Went well below $87. I was up here when I did it, right? And you know, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah. Actually, it was up in the 130s, and I'm thinking, okay. You know, I'm setting all my little marks, and this is just stuff I should erase, but I didn't. You know, my first little hit was like, okay, it ain't gonna go down to $90. And then I'm thinking it ain't gonna go down to $87. Yeah, you can see where it's at, man. You can see where it's at. So, instead of holding two of these at $90 and $87, which is what, almost $18,000, I bit the bullet on this one and sold it back for $16.50. Now remember, I only got $259 on it. So the actual loss on that is $16.50 minus 259.33. Now this looks bad. Now, come on, what the fuck? This looks bad, ain't gonna lie to you. Minus 259. Let's just say 259. So my total loss is like 1391. On paper. On paper. That's what it looked like on paper. So I'm clear of this. I no longer have this. I'm clear of this. I'm holding the 1391 on the books. But there's a way to fix all of that. But let's talk about where I would have been if I hadn't made those mistakes. So even with those mistakes, like right now, I'm sitting at still making $1,300 for the month of December. But if you take out those mistakes, take out this mistake here, and then you take out this mistake here, we're sitting at 3,700, almost $4,000, almost $4,000. So I cleared that one. I no longer have that one, but I still got this one at $90. And if I got this at $90, which I got to sign, and that's $9,000 I got to sign, and the stock dropped all the way down to $53. So let's just do the math. 9,000 minus, let's just say I'm going to use 53. That's another 3,700 plus the 1,391. So that's $5,000. That's $5,000. So how do you overcome that? It's real simple. This is the beauty of selling options, right? This is the beauty of selling options. So let's say that I decide, right, I'm gonna take this off because I did this earlier. I decided I got stuck with the $9,000 of MSTX, a highly leveraged ETF that you really don't want to play, and you really don't want to hold $9,000 worth, but it's easily to overcome it. It's all related to Bitcoin. If I look at what I've done with this stock, which is also related to Bitcoin, and this is how crazy it is. This is related to Bitcoin, which I was playing at, and this stock is related to this. So whatever Bitcoin does, this stock does. Whatever this stock does, this stock does. And so Bitcoin basically controls both of these, which, like I said, I don't believe in Bitcoin, so, but I will dabble in it. But if I look at this one, I've already made almost 4,000, 3,900 something. Right. So if I don't even play this anymore, if I don't play this anymore and sell in more options on it, which I probably won't, I can still, if I just say, you know, Bitcoin did, I can still take that $3,920 something dollars. $3,920 that I've already made profit on. Oh my God, I'm such a fucking clumsy. Oh shit, 5,000, 3,900. So if I decide, okay, I'm not gonna mess with this anymore, and I just go and say, well, my Bitcoin loss, I'm only at $1,080. If I was to do that, I could just basically apply this to this. It's all Bitcoin earnings or losses, and I'm only down $1,080. But I wouldn't do that. This is separate, and this is separate. So if I wanted to play this, right, which I'm gonna play this, the way I would get out of this is I would wait for this stock. I would wait for this stock to pop back up to about 70. I'll wait till it pop up to about 70. If it gets to like 60 something, right, I would start to sell an option on it. I'd sell an option. And if I want to sell an option for 60, I could sell this option. Let's just go out 18 days to see what it is. I would sell a $60 option. That would put me 370. No, that's not enough. I don't want to play it that long. Let's go 25 days. The 25 days, $60. What's that? Between 400 and 870. What's the last? Can I find that? I don't see the last on here. Okay, the last sold was $740. The last sold was $740. So let's just say I did that. I would want to take $740. $740. I sold that one. Sold him $40. And that's at $60. So let's say I didn't get a sign at 60, or if I got a sign at 60, let's say I didn't get a sign at 60. And I decided the next time it hit $7,000, that's the market closer. Next time it hits $7,000, I'm going to sell it. So I made $740, then I got out of it at $7,000 versus $9,000. So that leaves me with what? Still in the hole, $2,700, right? So what I could do is, so I got out of it here at 7,000, right? Or $70. So I need to go from 70. I need to go from 70 to 90. From here to here, I would just sell options. And I would sell options that are way out the money. Because all I want to do now is just make up that $2,700 without getting assigned the stock anymore. So I would start selling puts because I'm out of that stock now. So I would start selling puts. Now the market just closed, so these numbers are going to be off. They're going to be off. So it's at a low of almost 53. Let's say I start selling options in the 40s. $245. What was the last? The last was 300. That's in January. And I'd probably have to, the thing of it is I'd probably have to hold this for a while to do this. That's in January 24th. Could do another 350. What's that? So if I do in the $40, it would take me 2,700. Let's just say divided by 3. Let's just say 300. I had to do this 9 times. So it would take me roughly 9 weeks to do that, to make up that 2,700. And I say 9 weeks, but in reality, the gamble would probably be that Bitcoin has taken this big of a downturn. At some point, it's going to start going the other way. It's going to start going this way at some point. Now, how low is it going to go? Who knows? But whatever Bitcoin does, this stock does. And so at some point, you might be doing those 40 options, and you might be closing those out because if Bitcoin starts to go the other way, if it starts to do this, you know, you're going to be closing out these $40 maybe a couple of times and be able to resell them a couple of times during the week. Because as the stock go up, you start getting the max juice, as my man would say, out of this. You squeeze all the juice out of it. So if I did for 350, and let's say I did one for January the 17th, I got 350. The stock started to shoot up. I would be able to close that out and do another one the same week. So that 9 weeks, every time you do one of those, that 9 weeks might end up being 5 weeks or 4 weeks. And so even though that is a big loss on paper, in reality, it's really not. It's really not. I mean, just the very fact that these two stocks are pretty much the same. This stock dictates what this stock does. And so it's all Bitcoin related, technically. Technically, I'm only down $1,000 if I merge those two. But again, I wouldn't do that. I would just keep beating up on this. We're playing way out the money options until this is all gone, until this is either negative, and then I would continue to play till it became profitable. And that is how you sell options and continue to make money. When you sell options, you can eventually get these stocks to where they're zero. Like the stock is at 9,000, you keep selling options and deducting. This stock is at that point a free stock. That's the beauty of selling options. The thing about doing the Bitcoin, though, is I would want to be out of this realistically by January the 20th, just to see what happens after they change presidency. Because Bitcoin and all of its projected upside is based on, Trump being elected and Bitcoin becoming, part of the federal monetary policy, which one of the reasons that died that week was because Jerome Powell said, not so fast. Not so fast. So I'm going to play this to get out of it, but I still want to play it because you can see these options are very, very profitable. They are look, there's a $2,000 option. There's another for $1,100, another for $500, another for $869. selling those options are very profitable, but very risky. All right, I'm gonna do these on every Sunday. See what happens. See if people watch them. Again, I only do options selling. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I don't have any kind of great analytical schools, any tips. I would suggest that if you want to learn how to do this, look at Google, and there's a whole bunch of other people that actually do some serious analysis, which you don't need. You don't need it to sell options now. All you need is a little knowledge, YouTube, and money.